BRC-11, local first.
This time of year is all about haunted houses, but what about one in your neighborhood? I'm Taylor Toshif, and I'll tell you where you can find this homemade haunted attraction.
Plus, Ephrata police are looking for a missing teen who ran away from home earlier this week. But we begin tonight with lawmakers approving the biggest expansion of gambling in Pennsylvania since casinos were legalized more than a decade ago. Good evening, I'm John Buffone. A new measure to expand gambling in Pennsylvania passed the Senate, all in an effort to help the state budget deficit. News 11's Holly Hare joins us in studio with more on where local lawmakers stand on the issue. Holly.
John, Senator Scott Martin and Ryan Almond of Lancaster County voted in opposition of the bill that was part of the state revenue plan passed this week. As new details emerge of what this will mean for the Commonwealth, the conservative appeal Lancastrians are proud of could soon change.
This isn't, from my perspective, this isn't gambling expansion. This is gambling explosion.
In a final vote of 109 to 72, the state gambling expansion plan is expected to generate $200 million or more for Pennsylvania.
We've not avoided a tax increase, we've just simply deferred it for another day.
Satellite casinos, VGTs at truck stops, online gambling, and even fantasy sports are expected to generate the funds, a solution Senator Almond believes does not generate long-term promise.
We need to have a more long-term economic plan to make Pennsylvania a more attractive place for job creators, job creation, economic growth, and generating revenue through economic growth and responsible fiscal stewardship.
But after a 4-month stalemate,
as I think it positives, the only positive is that we're done with the 2017-2018 budget.
I just don't think that it's going to benefit anybody other than the state for money.
Aubrey is a Grantville native and works less than a mile from the Hollywood Casino.
Growing up, Grantville was always very quiet. For the longest time, we only had a blinking red light. As soon as that casino went in, everything grew up.
She believes making it easier to gamble is retroactive for people with gambling problems.
People are going to be spending money that they don't have. I already see people in here lose everything that they have at the casino, and if they expand gambling, I think it's just going to make the problem worse.
There are economic problems with this type of approach. There are budgetary problems with this approach, but there are real social and cultural. There's a real social and cultural impact as well.
Senator Almond says both he and Senator Martin plan to draft a letter to local municipalities, filling them in on what applies to their jurisdiction. No word yet on whether or not Governor Wolf will sign or veto the bill. Reporting in studio, I'm Holly Hare. John, back to you.
All right, thank you, Holly. Well, Northern Lancaster County Regional Police have charged a student for disorderly conduct and criminal mischief. Police were called to the intermediate unit in Penn Township earlier this week for an out-of-control student. It is alleged that a 14-year-old female threw chairs, desks, and other items, forcing staff and students to leave the room during the incident. The student was charged and released to her mother. Ephrata police are searching for a runaway teen who has been missing for almost 3 days. 16-year-old Tyler Michkowski was last seen at his home on Marion Terrace Tuesday evening. Guardians believe he climbed out of his window and ran away. He is described as a biracial teen with short black hair, and he was last seen wearing dark blue jeans and a black hoodie. He is not believed to be wearing his glasses. Anyone with any information on his whereabouts should contact the Ephrata Police Department. Well, 1 in 8 women will in some way have a run-in with breast cancer. For men, the likelihood is much less, with the chances being around 1 in 1,000. While men aren't necessarily encouraged to have routine mammograms, Dr. Nitin Tanna of the LGH Center for Breast Health says that men must be aware of what their bodies are telling them if they experience discomfort in their chest.
I think if there is symptoms, I think it's important that they get the same thing. And we do mammograms in men, not as routine screening, but when they're symptomatic. If they feel a lump, if they have nipple discharge, some men are at a higher risk, but we still do not screen them.
Dr. Tanna said that any palpable mass in the chest area is worth getting checked out by your physician. The 34th annual benefit auction to support prison ministries kicked off on West Main Street today in Ephrata. The event helps provide chaplains and religious programming to those in prison while supporting pre-release and aftercare programs.
We have a lot of great businesses that give of their goods. Most everything here is new that we sell, so they give, no matter what it would be, hardware or other items, they give of new. So we've continued to grow, and we're now trying to grow the Ephrata area.
Items include hardware tools, quilts, toys, as well as some big-ticket items. The auction runs through tomorrow afternoon. Since the auction began in 1984, over $2.4 million has been distributed from the proceeds. Well, it was a perfect night for some high school football, but are we going to be as lucky this weekend? Let's go to Carl Kern, who has our first look at the forecast.
First Look Weather is brought to you by The Wagon at Weaver Markets. Check out weavermarkets.com for this week's menu.
Well, don't forget about the rest of the season there, John. We really didn't have too many nights that were unpleasant by any means. I think even this late in the year, it is just that hard to believe that the conditions stayed as nice as they did on just about every Friday, with very few exceptions. Temperatures milder tonight, noticeably so, and that trend continues into the day on Saturday, but comes to a screeching halt Sunday. There'll be a much different day. Plan accordingly. Have something to do inside. It is going to rain most of the day, an inch, possibly two, through at least Monday daybreak, and then cooler as we wrap up this unusual month of October. Your full forecast is coming up, John.
All right, thank you, Carl. Well, haunted houses have become a staple this time of year, many people traveling miles to get their fix of fright. But what if there was a haunted house right in your neighborhood? A Denver household is serving up some screams this Halloween, and News 11's Taylor Tosheff has more on this story.
If you want to experience some fright this Halloween, you might not have to travel far. A Denver family is serving up some fright on Halloween night, taking up to 6 months of planning and preparation.
Come on in, guys, be careful. We start about 6 months ahead of time, and we start thinking about what is it going to look like, and because it's completely different every year. And I really enjoy that part of it, just kind of drawing everything out.
Lisa Steffi and her family have been transforming her modern-day home into a fright fest for the past 15 years. Why? For the love of all things spooky.
All the other holidays can be really, really busy, and you don't actually get to sit down and be with your neighbors and be with your community and your friends. So we've always loved Halloween, so we started it when we moved into the neighborhood.
On Halloween night only, kids can walk through the house, starting at the Witch's Brew, which begins a quest to find and solve some clues.
I don't know, he may or may not be a clue.
I've been coming here for a couple years now, and it's always different and it's always fun.
I really like it, and that this is the first place that I usually go.
But serving up some screams isn't the only reason for the haunted house. All those brave enough to enter can bring along a canned good to donate.
We decided to start collecting canned goods for the food banks because it was a good way. We pull a really nice crowd, and we thought that's just a nice way to give back.
Once Halloween night is over, Lisa takes all the donations to nonprofits such as Peter's Porch and local churches. But there isn't much rest for Lisa and her family because in 6 months, it's back to planning. If you're brave enough to take a walk through this haunted house, make sure to bring a donation with you. Reporting in Denver, Taylor Tosheff, News 11.
While canned good donations are appreciated, they certainly aren't required. If you take a walk through the haunted house, make sure to snap a few pictures, and they might even end up on our Blue Ridge News 11's Facebook page. Well, stay tuned to the Evening Report. More local news is coming up after the break.
We're at Cheesy Bagel in Denver for this special edition of Dinner for Two. I'm Brendan Leslie, and we're going to check out Northern Lancaster County's newest breakfast spot.
Plus, we go inside a haunted library in Lancaster. We'll bring you the frightening fun. For this week's edition of Dinner for Two with Brendan Leslie, he wanted to change things up a bit and satisfy his craving for an egg sandwich. That's why he went over to Denver to check out Northern Lancaster County's newest breakfast spot.
For this special edition of Dinner for Two breakfast style, we're at Cheesy Bagel in Denver, right across the street from Turkey Hill. Let's head inside to check out some of their New York style recipes. Now, the first thing I noticed when I walked into Cheesy Bagel is that they serve boar's head meats. They have the best quality product.
They have it down with science. Even their cheeses, not just their meats, their cheeses are better. Why? I don't know. I'm just happy that they are.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very excited about this. So,
what can I get for you?
I need to get the classic bacon, egg, and cheese on a Kaiser roll. While I wait for my food to cook, let me tell you a little about this deli. John Mack opened Cheesy Bagel this week after retiring from the Postal Service. They're open daily until 2 p.m., even on Sundays. They serve any type of egg or lunch sandwich you crave. And pretty much everything is made New York style, just like the delis I grew up with on Long Island.
It's a New York style deli with a Lancaster twist. Everything is fresh. The eggs are fresh every day. We do up sausage, bacon.
Just like the name says, they have bagels and tons of different types, including poppy seed, everything, plain, honey wheat, sesame, onion, Asiago, blueberry, and cinnamon raisin.
There isn't any other place around here that just specializes in the bagels.
There's a lot of dinner restaurants around here, but there's very few places to get a good breakfast and lunch.
Oh boy, I am very excited about this. And yes, I am one of those people that puts ketchup on their eggs. It's a must for me. All right, let's try this egg sandwich out. That tastes just like home.
Good. I can't stress that enough. I mean, we make some pretty darn good food.
Take it from somebody who's from Long Island, New York. I promise you, you'll have a great breakfast here. For this edition of Dinner for Two, I'm Brendan Leslie, News 11.
From here on out, Brendan will be doing a Dinner for Two on the last Friday of the month. If there's a restaurant you want him to visit, feel free to connect with us on our Blue Ridge News 11's Facebook page. And for the 5th straight year, the Lancaster Public Library is celebrating its Haunted Library event, which includes spooky children's story times, creepy crafts, and ghoulish games, all for just the price of $5. Our videographer Kyle Steffi gets us into the action.
It's a really important event. It's a great community builder. It's an affordable option for families, especially in the city. You think about other activities this time of year and they can cost a lot of money, but you can come to the library for not that much money and have a really great experience.
I'm going to be one of the characters in our Hollywood Horrors maze in the basement, so I will be staged in a certain area to jump out and terrify people.
A lot of people look forward to it. They look forward to getting their kids dressed up and having a place to go during the weekend of Halloween that's not really expensive and also packs a lot of fun in a small amount of time for not a lot of dollars. And I think they like the fact that it does benefit the library.
I love your costume. You're welcome.
We have a little bit of something for everybody. It's affordable, so it's been growing each year and people seem really excited about it.
The library also held a costume contest for kids as well as a trick-or-treat trail for kids 12 and younger. Well, Halloween is just a few days away, and while you're planning this year's costume, make sure you have a plan on where to take it after October 31st. Art of Recycle, located in Ephrata, recycles arts and craft items and even costumes. After Halloween, the Art of Recycle is hoping to receive some costumes to recycle for next year.
After Halloween's over, you're welcome to just bring them by. We accept all sorts of donations, but the costumes we'll pack away and we'll save them for next year. Keep the storage from you. The kids are going to outgrow them anyway, so you might as well pass them on to someone and we can help more kids have costumes in the next year.
If you want to donate your gently used costume to Art of Recycle, you can drop it off Monday through Saturday between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Well, the Ephrata Rec will be hosting its 3rd annual Clairpoint Derby this Saturday, bringing back an exciting night full of fun wagering. Admission of $35 includes horse betting, gourmet appetizers, and selections of beer, wine, and soda. All of the money raised will go right to the Rec's upcoming programs.
The $35 gets you a horse, and you can name your own horse. And when your race comes, your horse and your race comes up, if you win $50. And you can also bet on other races. There's betting throughout the whole night.
Tickets are available at the Ephrata Rec, and some of the appetizers include meatballs, spinach squares, and baby back ribs. Well, Carl Kern is up next with his complete weather forecast, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. It's week 9 of high school football. Let's give you a quick tease on what's to come on high school game night post-game show after the evening report. All of the highlights coming from our local teams. Our game of the week here on BRC-11, Conestoga Valley at Warwick. CV opens up the scoring in the first quarter. Tanner Schwilk finds Gavin Horning. Gavin's first TD of the year, but it's Schwilk's 25th. But later on, Warwick strikes back courtesy of Division I recruit Hayden Rucci. Adam Ricketts gets him the ball. Rucci rumbles, stumbles, bumbles, 44 yards to pay dirt. He ties ties the game at 7. We're not going to spoil the final result here. You're just going to have to join Brian Cass and Chad Landers at 10:30 for high school game night. But that will do it for the Evening Report. I'm John Buffone. Have a great weekend.